Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all, NFL Mascot Showdown.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Bum, 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 bum.
Da-da-da-da.
Bum, 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 bum.
Da-da-da.
Welcome, sports fans, to We Got This with Mark and Hal's official NFL year-end playoff episode. I would like to point out I have not watched a single game of NFL football this year. Hal, I believe, has watched a few. This is going to be based entirely on the mascots of the teams in the playoffs.
That's right, Mark. We've taken a look at all the mascots for these teams and faced them off. So regardless of whether your team is still in it or not, these 12 teams are going to have their mascots face off to decide once and for all
Who's gonna win the Super Bowl?
we're gonna do a podcast and to keep it tight, 'cause all my rowdy friends are deciding tonight.
Oh man, I couldn't tell. Was that your Hank Williams or your Carrie Underwood?
Sure. It's clearly.
Is it Carrie Underwood that does it now?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Bo Cephas is real ridiculous. I saw Bo Cephas in concert. Did I tell you
about
this?
in Atlanta. You went with
Edelstein.
Eric.
Yeah. Man, that is a tough concert to get through.
I bet.
That is no fun.
Bo Cephas is more like no Cephas.
He is.
No thank you, Cephas.
He is fascinating.
Yeah.
And it's fun to watch the train wreck.
Yeah.
But boy is he problematic.
Yeah. You know what's not problematic?
The NFL.
All of these
Nope,
mascots.
that's not true.
Yeah. These mascots, by and large, are not the most problematic of the mascots did not make it into the playoffs. So we are dealing with 12 different mascots. And we're not going to talk about the actual mascots. So my Philadelphia Eagles did make the playoffs.
Mhm.
As of this recording, they have not played yet. We do not know what the outcome is.
Yeah. But we are not going to be duking out
Yes.
the Seattle Seahawks versus the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes.
We're going to duke out two birds of prey.
Yes. Would an eagle beat a Seahawk?
Yeah.
Which do we prefer, one over the other? Not who would win in a fight. That's not what we talk about.
No, that's not what
here.
we do, but which
do we prefer?
Which is better
So it would be,
as an animal.
here's what we have. We
Okay.
have the 49er, which we assume is a gold miner.
Mm-hmm.
We have, the Saint.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Viking, a Seahawk.
Because if this was who would win in a fight, the Saints lose at the beginning.
Right.
Pacifists.
Exactly. Yeah. In fact, you probably have to just get rid of him on face value. We're not going to do that. You have, an eagle.
Mm-hmm.
You have a packer.
Okay.
We'll decide what that is. A raven, a patriot, a titan, a bill, really a buffalo,
Mm-hmm.
a Texan, and a chief.
All right.
So where do you want to start? Do you want to start? Let's do it as they're seated.
Let's do the
start-
battles as the battles are
yeah.
dictated.
What we'll do is we will take their ranking, and that you don't have to know any of this, listener.
Yeah.
But I will
By the way,
present
this is
the
not,
matchups.
I know that we may have some fans that are not football fans. This episode is for you.
Yeah, you will.
This
enjoy it.
episode will probably anger actual football fans.
Exactly. Here's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna. I'm gonna take us through the wild card round.
Okay.
I will reseed these as we go, so you know who's facing off right now.
Quick side note.
Yes.
Let's do a quick mini topic.
Yes.
Best wild card. Is it the draw 4 in Uno, or is it the ubiquitous Joker in a deck of cards?
It's the draw 4. The colors are so nice.
But the Joker is everywhere. He had the best movie of the year, according to some.
Please. I would rather see a draw 4 card.
A movie about the draw 4
I
card.
would love to see a movie about how the draw 4 card became the draw 4
Oh man,
card.
if there was an Uno movie.
Can you imagine that card just dancing down steps in, what is it, Queens? Is that where those steps are?
I don't know.
Wherever they are.
Isn't it Gary Glitter that they're playing in that?
Is it?
Yeah.
Another arena rock song.
Oh,
All right.
I love me some arena rock.
Here's who gets a bye out of the first round. We're going to be talking about for a little while. The Raven, the Chief, the Packer, and the 49er. We're not going to talk about them yet. First matchup. We'll go in the order that they've aired on TV so far.
Okay.
And
we're not going to talk about what actually happens in these games.
A Buffalo, Buffalo Bill. So Bill, Buffalo.
Or now, hold on.
Yes.
It's the Buffalo Bills. Is it your dad?
Sure. Make it my dad.
The logo on the helmet is a buffalo.
Yes, a charging buffalo.
But this is, or are you too close to it? Would you have to recuse yourself?
No.
But it is Bills plural. It could be anyone named Bill. It could be Bill Lublin. It could be Bill Clinton. It could be Bill Cosby. These are getting more and more problematic for this game as I go. It could be Buffalo Bill Cody.
That's true. That's true. In case you're out there going, a bill is what you call a male buffalo. That is not correct. It is a bull.
Oh.
So it is my dad. The bill that we are closest to. Taking on a Texan.
Oh, okay. Your dad versus a Texan.
That's my dad.
It's got to be your dad.
It's my dad.
Sorry, Houston.
Yeah.
But hold on. Let's get.
Why would we?
I'm just saying, like, in this, what qualities does your dad have that would defeat I mean, Texas is it's a huge state. They make wonderful barbecue.
Yeah.
It's
just one person though.
That's true. It's just a generic
Texan.
All right. So let's create a generic
versus
Texan.
Someone who has been, we haven't had a Texan, just a generic Texan on this show.
Yeah.
You want to create a generic Texan?
Let's create a generic Texan.
Giant hat.
Yeah. That's the first thing I thought. Great big hat.
Yeah. Great big belt buckle.
What city do they live in? That could determine who this Texan is, because if it's Austin, it's not a great big hat and a belt buckle.
It could be.
There are
great big hats and belt buckles in Austin. Yeah, it could. Then it could be a
Austin
Rasta hat.
It could also be a man bun.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this, a good pair of cowboy boots.
Yes.
Men or women.
Yes.
Or other in, wherever you are in Texas.
Yes.
A good pair of cowboy boots.
Let's just say a person. This doesn't have to be male or female.
Sure.
Could be anywhere across the spectrum.
Yeah. They cowboy boots.
Jeans.
6-shooter.
6-shooter. Jeans.
Big twirly mustache. Again, any person.
It doesn't matter.
Big twirly mustache.
Whether you've grown it or put it on.
Yeah. Giant bushy red eyebrows.
Yeah.
Short. Real short. Frequently fighting against a bunny.
Wait. When the guns shoot off, does the person go up in the air?
Yeah. Well, when they shoot him into the ground.
Are you talking about Yosemite Sam?
Oh, Yosemite's in California.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's a Central Californian. Bugs, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna rootin' tootin' rassassassafrassin tarnation.
Oh man, he was so good at swearing, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
He was so good at swearing. Darn tootin' sassafrassin. Oh, I love Yosemite Sam so much. Yeah, we don't need to build a generic Texan. It's your dad.
My dad.
It's got to be built. But by the way, you are so bordering on needing to recuse, because what battle? Your dad's going to win the Super Bowl if this is.
We'll see.
Oh,
we'll see.
All right.
I mean, over a generic Texan, my dad.
Over a generic Texan, sure.
Come on. Next.
I do like that team is just factually accurate.
Yeah.
They're the Texans.
They're just, yeah.
It'd be like instead of the Indianapolis Colts, it was the Indianapolis Indianans. Yeah. Right?
The Philadelphia Pennsylvanians. Let's get more.
The San Francisco Californians.
The Washington, D.C. citizens of the country.
Yeah. Unrepresented citizens of the country.
Citizens of the country.
Which, by the way, would still be a better name for that team.
True. 100%. But we're not here to talk about that. That team is not in the playoffs.
No, they aren't.
We have
Are they in your division? Is that why you laughed like that?
The Titans versus, it's a Titan versus a Patriot. Patriot is someone who is loyal to their country, who probably someone you would think of as somebody who is in service. It's a good thing.
There are many positive qualities to a patriot.
Yes.
I think that word has been co-opted.
Sure. Like many words have been.
Sure. And so the 2020 version of what the word patriot is most often used as is more of a cudgel than a flagpole.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But if we're sticking with the classic image on the helmet
Yes.
of what a patriot is, we're talking 1776 founding fathers patriots.
Could be. But I mean, of any country.
Or just general.
Everybody has their version of what a patriot is.
Right.
The French, the British,
Sure.
the Chinese, the Japanese, but every country.
So the question becomes, is a person who has fealty to their flag better than
a god that walked among men?
among planets in the case of Thanos? Isn't he a Titan?
Yes, he's the Mad Titan.
In comic book world, in Scientology world, they were all encased in ice at the polar caps, I think.
Yeah.
In Greek mythology, they were the original, like,
they're stealing fire.
yeah, original giant monsters that were important in the creation of the planet.
Yeah.
I think have to defeat people who stand up for their national anthem.
I agree. Yeah, 100%.
No offense to the patriots of the world. I consider myself a patriot.
Yes.
I'm a patriotic American.
Me too.
But I still say that, yeah, a Titan's gonna take that one.
All right. Now there is a matchup happening right now as we record this, and that is the matchup we're going to discuss right now, which is a Saint versus a Viking. Vikings, not only well known as raiders and perpetrators of heinous acts.
Yeah.
As they,
but very skilled.
Certainly skilled
masters. We did an episode, Vikings versus, something, didn't we? Or we did it in a clean slate
Vikings
at a convention.
At Pensacon with Carlos.
At Pensacon, yeah. With us, Alice Rocky.
Vikings are a very interesting group of people, and it makes sense that they're represented in Minnesota, which has a very large Norse population.
Right. All very big Scandinavian population. Yes. Do you know why that area has a huge Scandinavian population?
I did at one point, but I've forgotten. I would love for you to tell me.
Logging. Logging in Minnesota was a huge thing when that area was first populated by Americans.
Yes.
And they needed laborers who knew how to run logs down rivers. And that had always been the way that they did logging in Scandinavia. So an American company, or more than one American company, went to Scandinavia and leafleted these towns, these logging towns. Right. And there's a massive influx of Scandinavian immigrants to Minnesota specifically because they knew how to roll logs down rivers.
Yes.
Little tidbit of history for our football episode.
Yes. Now, saints are people who have been canonized by the church, generally for either one great deed that they performed or for
multiple
miracles,
lifetime of service.
Teresa, Mother Teresa is probably the most recent human to be canonized. Probably not the last famously canonization, but famously. I don't know that any other people who have been alive in our lifetime have recently been canonized.
John Paul II. Pope John Paul was canonized. How many saints do you think there are?
I'm going to guess. Do you know how many?
I know roughly? A rough number. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to guess that there are 100 saints. Am I close?
No. There are over 20,000.
Really?
Yeah. So, I think back in the day, the threshold for sainthood was probably a bag of silver to your local pope. Yeah. And not to say that there aren't in the history of the Catholic Church, in the 2,000-year history, 10 people a year that deserve it.
Right. But fewer people get into the Baseball Hall of Fame every year.
Right.
Than are canonized as saints. So there are more rigorous, not that there's a grid like the Religious Writers Association all get votes and they do the first place, second place, third place.
Well, no, it's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. They all get together with Habakkuk, Nehemiah, Amos, Obadiah.
Sure. You've made up 3 of those.
Hosea.
Right?
No, all of them are real.
Okay.
Yeah. Old Testament and New Testament.
Sure. They all get together and they decide.
And they decide who's,
10 a year. That's a lot.
Yeah, it does. It seems like that's a lot. Yeah.
I feel like that's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I'm going to look this up. I want to make sure that I'm not way off.
How many Catholic saints there are. In the meantime, let's wonder. I think the question here is, does somebody who performed generous acts of service and miracles, would they defeat, or do we hold them higher than a Viking? Vikings who are known not only as explorers and discoverers, certainly to an extent, but also conquerors and marauders and criminals. Like they lived a very warlike. There's a very warlike aspect to their existence.
This one really is a battle of arguably good versus evil.
Yeah.
In the basest of terms. The Vikings did a lot of great things. They were wonderful seafarers. They had some amazing inventions. They have a proud history and a proud tradition of their mythology and what they have, contributed to the world. And yet, some pretty horrific stuff. By the way, by this estimation, there are well over 10,000. I had read 20,000 before. Okay. Do you know how many people Pope Francis alone has canonized during his term as Pope?
Which has been 5 years?
About 5 years.
20?
885.
Oh, come on, dude. He's just handing them out.
Yeah, he's just giving them out. But you know what? Pope Francis is the kind of guy that's going to be like that.
Yeah.
Because Pope Francis is I'm going to wash your feet. Uh-huh. I'm going to drive my own car. I'm going to live in an apartment.
Yeah.
I'm going to feed the poor. And I'm going to clothe the naked. And I'm going to slap that woman's hand away when she tries to yank on my arm.
That's right.
So good. So good. She was yanking on his arm real hard.
He just walks up into club with a bunch of slips for sainthood and
he makes it rain. Right. And that's his miracle. And so now he's a saint because he made it rain indoors.
Oh my goodness.
In the club.
What a saint. I've canonized myself.
Pope Benedict before him, Pope Benedict XVI, canonized only 45. So wow. there are a lot of saints.
Well, they blew the barn doors open.
Yeah.
Now everybody's a saint.
So
I think you got to go with saints.
I think it's
even through the lens of history.
Even through the lens of history, yeah, I think we have to go with saints. All things considered, I think, raping and pillaging is kind of disqualifying.
Yep.
And sainthood implies peak virtue.
Right.
So we're going saints over Vikings in this one.
That's right.
All right.
All right. Next, we have the Battle of the Birds.
Ooh.
A Seahawk or an eagle?
Oh, I thought you meant left hand middle finger, right hand middle finger. Battle of the Birds.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I declare a finger war.
Yeah.
Oh man, if the newscasters or if the sports broadcasters began the game with that, 1, 2, 3, 4, I declare a bird war before this game this afternoon.
If only. Well, again, I could recuse myself here.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, only one of these birds is the symbol of a nation.
Well, that's true.
And it looks real cool.
One of them's got a helicopter named after it that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
because a Seahawk is an osprey. That's another name for an osprey.
Sure. And there's a really good wrestler named Will Ospreay.
Sure. But also
Sam,
the symbol of America.
Yeah.
One of the funniest Muppets.
Yeah.
A great band from the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
A mediocre football team from Philadelphia.
It's not that long ago that we won it all. I can still taste the victory in my mouth. It's an eagle.
Yeah, it's got to be. The eagle advances. You are not going to in any way give an opportunity for an osprey is going to get short shrift in this right now. I'm certain.
Look, both birds are probably endangered. I know the eagle is.
I don't know if
I'm sure the osprey, even if it isn't, it should be protected.
Yeah, it absolutely should. It's a big fish-eating bird of prey.
Sure. Don't all birds eat fish? All big birds of prey? I don't think I guess eagles eat like rats and mice. I think they eat fish too.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend like Seahawks, like they have the market cornered.
I know, but you know what it is? Osprey is not as cool a name as Seahawk.
I'm a Seahawk.
Yeah, right?
My name is Osprey. The O stands for ocean. I'm Ocean Spray, the bird. Do you have any fish for me? Can I go have one of your fish, please? I really want a fish. I'm so hungry. I'll just dive in the water and get it myself.
You know, ospreys mate for life. Isn't that sweet?
That's adorable.
And they have
little osprey.
They have closable nostrils.
Oh, so you could, if you put tape over their mouth, they'll open up.
Nobody knows what you're talking about on this episode. Or
yes,
some people do.
Yes, they do.
Y'all, I'm trying mouth taping as a way to stop snoring.
I don't want to talk about it. All right, let's move on to the next round. We're going to hop over to the other side of the bracket.
Okay.
The Titan, who defeated the Patriot.
Oh, are we on to...
We're on to the next round.
All right.
Is going to be facing off against the Raven.
A Titan
versus a Raven.
Look, we've already talked about two awesome birds.
Yeah.
I will say I love that the Baltimore Ravens are the only team with a literary reference.
That's
as
true.
their
Edgar Allan Poe, who lived in Baltimore.
Who's from Baltimore, as their team mascot, which I think is pretty awesome and a point in the favor of the Raven.
It is.
That said, a Titan can find 5 gems, and snap his fingers and eliminate half the life in the world.
Yeah.
A Raven can say nevermore.
Maybe,
if we're lucky.
Yeah.
In a poem,
not even in real life.
Yeah, I did meet some cool Ravens, in England.
Oh, because
thanks to Christopher Scaife, the Raven Master, who was lovely, and our producer Ken Plume is friends of his, and hooked us up with him, and he gave us a lovely tour, and we met the Ravens of the Tower of London.
Yeah,
and I will say, if you want a really fun follow on Twitter, follow Christopher Scaife, the Raven Master 1. It's just these birds love him. They surround him constantly. They know his phone. So he has it's a constant stream of close-ups of birds. I think there are 5 or 6 ravens that live there.
Wow.
And, what was the thing? It was like, if the ravens ever leave the Tower of London, then the tower will fall, was the prediction made hundreds of years ago. So there will always be a Raven Master, and that's their job, is to take care of the birds. But yeah, follow him on Twitter, and you just get a lot of really fun close-up pictures of ravens looking directly in the camera. And it's a nice little palate cleanser throughout the feed. Plus, he's just a super nice guy.
I love it.
So ravens are, that said, I don't think 5 little blackbirds from the Tower of London are going to defeat. I've just decided that the Titan in my mind that we're talking about is Thanos.
Okay, that's fine. Then Thanos advances.
Yeah, Thanos advances.
Yeah. All right, next is my dad facing off against a chief.
Ooh.
Well, let's make this a more expansive. Certainly, there's something a little bit, the chief is a reference to the indigenous people of America.
Which I think is pretty expansive. It could encompass any leader of a indigenous group.
Yes.
This might be where Bill goes down.
It might be.
Because Bill let's think of things that, first of all, let's say some nice things and say things that Bill is.
Go ahead.
Very brilliant.
Okay.
Very funny.
Sure.
Generous.
Yes.
Kind.
Yes.
Has a very cool basement.
Yes. Is flying to San Francisco for our thrilling show.
Is flying to San Francisco. Is excellent at traveling.
Yeah.
Just a wonderful raconteur and all around gentleman.
Yeah.
Let's talk about things that he is not.
A chief,
the leader of a tribe of people.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. He does run a company.
Yeah.
A rather large company.
Mm-hmm. Not a whole tribe though.
Not a whole tribe.
He is not and I might be making generalizations, a potential warrior.
Fair.
I think it comes back though I'm trying to think of more things, but I think what it keeps coming back to is he is cause this is human versus human. And one of them is Bill Lublin. And one of them is the chief of a tribe of people.
Someone who is responsible for the administration of law and justice, for the protection of and provision for a large group of people.
Mm-hmm. And one of them has a new electronics case for his travels.
For the holidays, yeah.
So between those two guys, Hal.
I think the chief advances.
I didn't want to make you say it.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry, Bill Lublin. The chief advances.
Yes. All right. Let's move over to the other side. Well, actually, before we move over to the other side,
take a break.
Let's do that on the other side of this break, where you will hear from some of the other fine podcasts on the Maximum Fun Network. We'll be right back.
Hey gang, Jesse here, the founder of Maximum Fun, and with me is Stacey Molsky, who is, among other things, the lady who responds to all of your tweets.
Hi everyone, I also send you newsletters.
So anyway, something really awesome. You Max Fun listeners have given us the chance to do something really cool on behalf of our entire community, and we wanted to tell you about it.
Last summer, following the Max Fun Drive, we put all of the enamel pins on sale to $10 and up members, with proceeds going to the National Casa GAL Association for Children.
Your generous support and enthusiasm raised over $100,000. Our bookkeeper, Steph, would be quick to tell me the exact total is $109,025, to be exact.
Your money will go toward pairing kids who've experienced abuse or neglect with court-appointed advocates or guardian ad litem volunteers.
In other words, kids in tough spots will have somebody in their corner. Knowledgeable grown-ups who are on their team through court dates and life upheavals and confusing situations, whatever.
The money we raise together is going to help a lot of kids.
Whether you bought pins or not, you can help us build on that $109,000 foundation. Make a donation to support National Casa GAL and help some of our nation's most vulnerable children at MaximumFun.org/CASA. That's MaximumFun.org/CASA.
And seriously, thank you. Our community rules.
Macho Man to the top rope. The flying elbow. The cover. We've got a new champion.
We're here with Macho Man Randy Savage after his big win to become the new world champion. What are you going to do now, Match?
I'm gonna go listen to the newest episode of the Tights and Fights podcast, oh yeah.
Tell us more about this podcast.
It's the podcast of power, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, woke discussions, man, and jokes about wrestlers' fashion choices, myself excluded, yeah.
I can't wait to listen.
Neither can I. You can find it Saturdays on Maximum Fun. Oh yeah, dig it.
And we're back.
All right.
Why are you laughing?
I was laughing because I started to say, stick around, and you went, we'll be right back, as the word stick, so people are going to hear just me go,
That's what it was.
That's what it was. And it just, the idea of that made me giggle.
It wasn't a little bit of air going out of a tire.
Yeah.
It was a word. All right. We have, the second round battle is.
Can we talk about something real quick about air getting taken out of tires?
Sure.
Do you remember that scene in The Goonies where all the Goonies run away and they're going to prevent Brand from chasing them? And the way to do that is to take the air out of his tires.
Yeah.
And they don't slash his tires. They just unscrew the little plastic caps on his tires.
Yeah.
That would not make the air come out of your tires.
That is true.
And Brand having a fully functional, though plastic capless bicycle.
Yeah.
Instead of just riding that, which still has air fully in the tires, I'm assuming, because taking the little plastic caps off does not take the air out of the tires.
That's true.
Goes and robs a child of her tricycle. Or of her bicycle with training wheels.
Her bicycle with the basket and stuff on it.
Yeah.
Is it possible that technology was put in place because of this very film?
Oh, the technology of
keeping the air in the tire?
Like the plastic caps used to keep the air in the tires?
Yeah.
And then somebody saw this movie and they were like, look, crank up the Cyndi Lauper because we're going to fix this problem.
Yes.
All right. I'll buy that. Anyway, back to the game.
Yes. We have the Philadelphia, the Eagle.
It's not a Philadelphia. It's just an Eagle.
The Eagle against the 49er.
Oh.
Somebody who headed out to be a miner, minor 49er during the California Gold Rush of 1848-49. To make a fortune in their hills.
I feel like when an eagle goes hunting, it finds what it's looking for.
Yes.
I think the vast majority of 49ers, when they went hunting, did not find what they were looking for. I think had it been a 48er, when all the gold was still there, then that might defeat an eagle because you'd have a lot of gold to beat that eagle.
That is true.
I'm assuming that the gold of a 49er could defeat an eagle because of, if you have these golden resources, then that is more powerful than an eagle. But we're not answering who would beat who in a fight isn't the thing. It's, which would you rather have, a pet eagle or a ton of gold? I'd rather have a ton of gold.
Well, or would you rather have a gold miner?
A gold miner.
They're not the San Francisco gold. Would you rather have a miner or an eagle?
I mean, if that's the question that we're asking, boy, you really know how to ask the right questions to make sure the Eagles make it all the way through.
Well, let's just be clear that you're saying I'd rather have gold. Well, so would a miner. They didn't all get it.
Yeah.
And the gold rush in San Francisco was in 49. So these were people who got
I thought
there.
it was 48.
48 was the start of I thought 1848 might have been the beginning of the gold rush.
Oh, when the first guy found the gold. And
yeah,
then
but 49 was the huge rush.
Okay.
But I correct myself. So.
It did wonders for the pickaxe business.
It sure did. And it really, like, the better, I know we're not doing the mascot, but the original Denver Nuggets mascot, where he's like split-legged like Michael Jordan in the air with a nugget of gold in his pickaxe, is a way better representation of mining than 49ers, who don't even have it in their logo.
It's not the San Francisco Gold, but it is the Denver Nuggets.
That's right.
I did not know that meant gold nuggets.
49er. Like, do you want someone who shows up? Here's the question: is this person a self-starter who is trying to make a better life, or are they someone who is just trying to take advantage of a trend and like get rich quick by striking gold?
Right. Well, that's what I was thinking originally when it was 49 and not 48.
Right.
If it was a 48er, that would imply early along. But if the big rush was 49, that makes sense.
We have 49ers in a way.
What?
We've come to a city to try to strike gold.
Yeah. We left our hometowns. We went west across the country, across the vast plains, across the Rocky Mountains.
Yes.
Settled in California and are looking for our piece of the pie.
That's right.
So really what we're asking on this one, Hal, is would you rather have an eagle? Or would you rather have each other?
Up yours.
I'm just saying.
I think
what it comes down to, Hal, sitting there in your Philadelphia Eagles hat and your Philadelphia Eagles shirt, what it all comes down to is this. Would you rather have an eagle or us?
And let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather be a part of nature or someone who comes and pillages it just to make a buck?
That's not what we're doing.
Oh, isn't it?
No.
It is now.
Well, how dare you?
Because now I'm talking like this.
Hal.
Mark.
If you pick the Eagles over me.
Don't threaten me.
I'm going to be real. I wasn't threatening you. You know what I'm threatening you with? My sadness.
I can't deal with
breaking
sadness.
My heart. That's what I'm threatening you with.
I do think that idea of a 49er being someone chasing a dream is more compelling to me
than somebody coming to rape the land.
Well, that, and also an eagle flying about. Like, what if the bird gets in your hair? Attacks your head.
I'm always going to err on the side of a human. You know what I mean? Or intelligent.
If you have to choose between a person and a dog, you're going to choose a person?
No, dogs are way better than people.
Exactly.
Good point.
But I think 49er should advance.
It's tough, but
there we go.
All right.
Both my dad and both my dad and the eagle are gone.
Yeah.
You have
no dog in the fight
no
anymore.
Dog left in this fight. We do have now is a fight between a Saint and a Packer.
A Saint and a Packer. Packer meat packing, I'm assuming, in Green Bay. That was what it was?
I believe so.
Cheese packing? You don't cheese pack, you cheesemonger. There's cheesemongers and meat packers. There's not meat mongers and cheese packers, right? By the way, the Green Bay meat mongers makes it sound way scarier. What is a Packer?
The Packers, the company gave its name to the Green Bay Packers. It was the Acme Packing Company. Football team took its name after Curly Lambeau, a shipping clerk for the company, which was the Acme Packing Company, successfully asked the company's owner, Frank Peck, for money for jerseys and use of the company's athletic field in 1919. So it was named after a company.
Okay. So
yes, it was a shipping, people who pack and ship.
Right.
What have you.
Okay. Well, that's a bit of a downer that it's
over a saint,
like basically like it. I don't want to speak ill of the working man, but because the Packers name comes from a company, it feels a little like feels a little bit like a saintly person who performs miracles or a corporate shill.
I agree.
This is a pretty easy one.
Yes. The Saints advance. So right now we have 49er, a Saint, a Chief, and a Titan.
Oh, man.
All right. Next up, Titan versus Chief.
This is so hard.
If you're saying it's Thanos, I think Thanos moves on.
I think Thanos has to move on.
Yeah.
If our Titan it is the year 2020 when people think of a Titan.
Yeah.
They like an example of a Titan.
The Mad Titan.
The Mad Titan. That's the one. Thanos is also, this is 3. But look, it's a Saint and a 49er, potentially unarmed.
Yeah.
So does it really matter who wins, the Saint versus the 49er?
It doesn't. The Titan wins all.
Because you know what? Thanos could snap his finger and decide that one of them just evaporates into ashes.
In fact, Thanos could just turn his hand and go back in time to the beginning of this and just go, just pick me.
Just
I'm
pick
the winner.
me.
People of the world.
Yeah.
This was a weird one. It was a weird one. Mark wanted to try something.
Yeah.
We tried it. You let us know how we did.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I had a good time. It was an interesting challenge. It's something you can debate with your friends whether you like sports or not. Do it with all of the local mascots in your area. And decide
for
which one's
every
the best.
possible sport.
For every sport. For
Yeah.
everything.
See if a nugget beats a bull.
See, let's find out.
Yeah.
There's only one way to know, and that's to do it right here on this podcast.
That's right.
That is what we do for you. Asked and answered. The Titan has won. Will they have won the entire playoffs? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? They could be gone by the time this episode comes out.
That's right. But as of right now,
Yes.
this is where we stand, and this topic is closed.
Yes.
Thanks for suggesting. Who suggested this one?
You did.
Thank you, Mark Gagliardi, for suggesting this topic. There are many more topics to discuss, so please reach out to us on Twitter at We Got This Tweets. Check out the Maximum Fun subreddit, or
You can email us at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on Facebook in that sweet old Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/We Got This Podcast. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
and thanks as always to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song respectively. And thanks to you, our listeners, for letting us do ridiculous things like this and still listening to the show.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. For Hal Lublin, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin, and don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
We do not want to, yeah,
Did you just get an update?
I just got an update. No, sorry. Cut that out, Ken. I mean, trim that from the episode, not like, hey, Ken, cut that out.
it out.
Oh, I love that show.
Out of Control or
Yeah.
Full House?
Out of Control.
Yeah.
Full House.
Some people know it from Full House.
He only did it on Full House because he did it on Out of Control. Anyway, let's get back to the episode.
All right, fine.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned. Audience supported.